Hi everyone, welcome, welcome. Just waiting for a few more people to come into the room, but lovely to see your faces. I'm Caroline. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you all today and hearing some great pitches. So hopefully everyone can hear me. Let's do a quick mic test. Does everyone just want to come the mics off and say hello? Hiya. Hey,
Hi there.
hey there. Hey guys, good to hear you all.
Oh, hello.
Okay. So that's fine. I'm going to get rid of that play and joy sounds, even though some people are going to come in late. So today is going to work for this pitch practice. For those of you who've not been here before, this is very much a quick fire round. We are going to work on your 1 minute pitch. So we are going to be looking at understanding very much who you are, what you're here for, why is the time now, and specifically, what is your ask? So as we're coming away, I'm really clearly wanting to understand what is it that you're asking from the investors. There are three things that are the most important when you're talking, and that's the three T's. The three T's are your team, your technology, and your traction. So those are the three most important things I want to hear from you. It may be that you tell me all of that. You might say none of that today, but I will be giving you all advice and tips on what you can go away and work on. I will try and vary my feedback specifically so you're all learning something. So I see a few of you have a pen and paper at the ready. Keep it ready. And as I'm giving feedback to someone, write that down and ask, what does that feedback mean to me? Is this something I can strengthen in my own pitch? You guys have showed up here today, and that means that you are in it for the win because just like learning how to do anything, it takes practice. And what I tell you today, you're going to go away and you are going to work on it. Building your pitching muscles means putting in the reps. And I want to be hearing how all of you have transformed from where you are today to where you are when we all meet at the Belgian Embassy with the Rare Founders team. So, if those of you who don't know me, my name is Caroline Kay. I'm the founder of Vincita, and I've been supporting everyone from startups to globally connected agencies to win millions of new business for the last 20 years. I love supporting founders. I absolutely get a buzz from when you get the moment where the penny drops and you're like, oh, that's it. That's what the audience needs to hear to get their attention. Because you have between 10 and 30 seconds to get their attention, or it's all over. They've stopped listening and they're waiting for the next person to come up. So your opening needs to be strong, and also your closing also needs to be strong. And I'm going to be working with all of you on that today. I've got a timer that I'm going to be road testing for the first time with you. So if that doesn't work, I'm going to use the old phone. But hopefully this is all going to go off without a hitch. And we're going to be doing 1 minute of pitch. I'm going to stick to the timer because that's the other thing is making sure you all stay on time. And that's respectful for everyone else in the room and also for the demo day. And importantly, I'm going to give you 2 minutes of feedback each. So I'll give you that feedback, take from it what you will. I'll give you one question to ask me, ask away. If not, we will have a bit of time at the end for Q&A, and you can always email me, no problem, and let me know if you've got something burning on the brain. So I have an order of running order, should we say. Some people might not be here. So if you're not, I'm just going to fire on to the next person. When it comes to this running order, just come off mic and come off mute, should I say? Say hello, and I will set the timer and we'll get going. So first up on my list is the team for Fidelity. Do we have Fidelity in the room?
yes, that's me.
That's you. Okay. Lovely to meet you. Are you tell us your name first?
My name is Martin,
Okay, Martin.
founder of Fidelity.
Great. Martin, hold that thought. I'm going to set my timer and then the floor will be yours.
Wait, so should I do my pitch right now?
Oh, yeah, that's what you're going to do. Your pitch right
Uh,
now in under
I'm very,
60 seconds. Yeah, you
I'm
get to
very
be
sorry to
pitched
say I
first.
haven't quite prepared a pitch yet.
Haven't prepared a pitch yet. Come on, man. Okay, well, then this really is in 60 seconds the classic elevator pitch. So, with all of this, think about you're in who would be your dream investor? Do you have one?
yeah, no, but I can do an elevator pitch for sure.
For sure. Right.
Um,
Well, that'll do. I want an elevator pitch, and you got 60 seconds. The three T's that I want you to remember are team, traction, and technology.
yeah,
Most important thing I really want to hear is why now? Why is this the moment? that it is time for everyone to get on board with what you're building.
Uh,
I will let you go second because you haven't got a pitch ready. So you can have a little think on that, and I'm going to come back to you second while I get the next one up to the stage. So Julie, AI, do we have someone from Julie? No one's raising a hand. Okay, I'm skipping on to the next one. Do we have Viranti?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
present here.
Okay. Hey there. Victor, right. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Pitch. I love that.
Yes.
Love this energy.
One quick question
Yep.
with respect to the pitch. This will be done with a slide in the background generally, and that's complementary to what I'll be saying in the pitch. Would it be sensible to share that slide now with you as well?
No. What it is, it's complimentary on the day, but I am more interested in you and how you deliver your stage presence. And yeah, well, let's give it to the timer and off you go.
Okay. I could talk to you about electronics waste and how it's damaging the climate, or the supply chain risk of electronics and how the laminates that are in PCBs influence it. But very likely you won't care. You will just keep on buying the next iPhone, car, laptop, or services that require massive data centers. At Viranti, we totally agree with you. You shouldn't compromise. That's why we developed our material not as a green alternative, but as a new standard in printed circuit boards. It needs to be fully functional. No compromises, fully local sourcing, is fully cost competitive, and yes, it happens to be 100% bio-based and low in carbon footprint, making it future-proof. Already tested by the best PCB makers, my name is Victor Verlinde and I'm the founder of Fidelity. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, let's give you props for timing there. So well done on sticking to time. If anything, you came in under time, which is even better. When it comes to your pitch, it's really important that you deliver it with good timing, good pacing, so people can really hear what you're saying and you're letting each line land. So rather than thinking I have 1 minute to get through everything, so we speed up a little bit, it's actually slow it right down. And let's make every line so crucially important that they're really listening to that and going, wow, didn't know that. Or interesting, and pulling in for curiosity and I want to know more. Now, when I went through your deck and I had a look at the things that you said, you had a slightly different opening pitch and you were very much moving around talking about the fact that you're going green was the big message that we're coming across. You're caring about the environment. In this pitch, you talked a little bit about how maybe you're not going to care. Okay.
Yeah.
But your job on the day is to make everybody care. So I would invite you to look at your pitch as a way of making them feel like this is now or never. So having that said, hitting them with a big stat, something that will wow them, have a think about some of the great stats you've got in your deck that you could talk about, Victor. So you talked about in your deck CO2 emissions. You talked about the equivalent of the total emissions of the UK, Belgium, Netherlands, France, Germany, all combined. That is whoa, okay. So put that in context, get people to care or get them to think, wow, I've learned something today. I didn't know that. This is important. And that's why part of this time is now. So you've got an opportunity to talk about this. Your team needs to come through a lot stronger. You have a very strong team, strong experts. You need to talk about them. So really start polishing up your team. And wherever you can, start thinking about numbers. So thinking about your ask. One of the things that stood out for me when I looked through your pitch deck was you talked about you're stronger than your competitors. That was something I remembered. Didn't hear that today. Talk about that. Let them know you understand your market, that you're stronger. Tell them why and explain to them some of the traction you've got. You have got big names. So I want everyone to understand how much he's underplayed himself today. He's working with Nokia. He's working with Sony. These are massive brands. Highlight these. Make them think, well, if they're in, why wouldn't I be? Okay. So there's a lot to play back for you there. Just any questions at this point?
No, that sounds correct or good. The only question that I have is, of course, doing what we're doing, you always have the people that are environmentally focused that are interested. For me, it's also important to get everybody else who doesn't really do it for the environment also on board. So that's why my main pitch now is actually fully focused on that.
Okay. So you want people to care about the environment. If you can have, the dream, you want people to care about the environment,
Of course.
stakeholders that care, and you want them to care about the opportunity. So you're talking to investors, and this goes for everyone. Talk to them in the language they understand. Talk to them about money. They want to know how much money they're going to make and how quickly they're going to make it. So you've got a roadmap, you've got traction time, you've got already what you've delivered in the space of time you have with the money you have. Talk their language. If they should all care about the environment, to be honest, if they don't, they're probably not you don't really want them. But I would say that, be clear on the ask of them and the opportunity that you're giving them. Okay, Victor?
Okay,
all right, good.
you.
You're set to go. Who am I bringing up next? Am I going to circle back to Fidelity? Where are you, Fidelity? Do you want to come back in? There you are, Martin. How you feeling?
Yeah, I can give it a try. Yeah.
I love that energy. Okay, let's go, Martin.
Local bistros are making the way for ever-growing restaurant chains, making the brand connection and guest experience shift online. Headquarters want to keep control of their locations, track KPIs, extract data, listen to what guests are saying, and talk back to them. I worked at Hawaiian Pokeball myself, a restaurant chain with 50 locations. They receive 200 guest feedback messages per week. Think reviews on Google, Uber Eats, complaint mails. They had 2 people in charge of handling that. Messages are scattered across multiple inboxes. You completely miss the point of what guests are saying, and you can't talk back to them. Fidelity centralizes all those reviews in one inbox, automates responses, and extracts data from what customers are saying. We are working with the largest restaurant chain of the Benelux and the fastest growing restaurant chain of the Benelux. That's it, kind of.
Okay, all right. We're out of time.
I'll work on the ending.
Don't worry, Martin, you did great. I mean, for just an impromptu, I'm really glad you just went for it. That's great energy. So your pacing is good. You're clear. I can understand you. However, you're obviously reading from a script there. On the day, this won't be the same. You'll have memorized it. You'll have learnt it. But that monotone, that and da 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 and da 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 and da 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 da, it lets people tune out. So we really need to pause. Power of the pause gets attention. Also lift our voice, just really control the stage. And so one of the things I want you to think about is your delivery. So slowing it down a bit. Your pacing is good, but slow it down even more. And really think about changing the accent of your voice as well. Show your excitement. Now, looking at my notes in terms of feedback for you, I really loved that you talked about some of the traction you had in that pitch. That was great, Martin. You were talking about working with some of the biggest restaurants out there. You also have got some traction under your belt that you could be talking about more. So you started with an innovation fund. You're now looking for investments. Let's talk about how you've started, what you've done in that time. There's also an opportunity for you to really build up more about your team. Who are you? Why are they listening to you? And so you worked in a restaurant, so did a few million people around the world. It's not strong enough. I care that I'm pretty sure you were educated in innovation and in AI. Have I got that right?
My co-founders, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. So I'm more interested in the guy who's been educated in this than I am about the guy who worked in a restaurant. It's nice if you're telling a narrative and a story, it's fine. From my experience working in a restaurant, I recognize this, sure. But let's talk about what brings you to the table. The fact that you are educated, the fact that you are knowledgeable in this space, or you've brought that team together to go, I've solved the problem and I'm brilliant at getting the right people to help me solve that. So let me talk about my team. So you've got an opportunity here. Don't waste that. And I think you're going to be good. If you can get in a strong hook at the beginning, make them feel the pain. Right now, I'm not sure I feel the pain of why your product exists. I really need to feel it. So have a think about how you'll do that. And I do hope you come back to the next pitch practice so I can hear it.
All right, we'll do that.
But do you have a question for me on this at the moment, Martin?
Not at the moment.
Okay, well done. Good energy. Thanks for coming up to the stage. All right, so next I have on my list Astron Systems. Do we have any of the team from Astron? Okay, moving on. Do I have Volef?
Yes, hello.
Yes, hello. Okay, guys. Who's pitching today?
We both are.
We
Yes.
both are. I love that. Okay, so Dries and Frederick, the stage is yours.
Hi, I'm Dries, founder and CEO of Vollev. Our mission is to redefine gifting by becoming the leading online destination for luxury men's gifts and corporate gifting. We've built a solid, data-driven e-commerce company generating 5 million euros in the past 12 months with a 45% gross margin.
I'm Frederick, the co-founder. 10 years ago, we launched luxuryformen.com and exclusivebusinessgifts.com. We partner with over 100 international luxury brands, some of which joined our marketing programs, covering 20% of our advertising expenses.
Today, we are active in more than 10 countries with an LTV to CAC ratio of 4.2 and 40% yearly revenue growth. This proves our model is profitable and scalable, and now we are ready to accelerate, with the UK as our next key market.
We have a clear path to 30 million euros in revenue by 2030. To get there, we are raising 500,000 euros with possible secondary options. All that we believe.
Life's too short for ordinary stuff.
Okay, guys, well done. Notice that we ran out of time there.
Yeah.
And so when we run out of time, that's not the part we want to miss, that ending, which you guys have got so strong. I'm going to have the challenge of turning off my timer now. I've moved on to the wrong thing. Bear with me while I fix that. So let's make sure that when we're doing this, we're leaving enough time for that closing, because I remember your pitch now, the fact that it was two of you. I also remembered that at the end in unison saying, now is the time. That's great. You talk brilliantly about the numbers. You are absolutely talking the investor's language, and you're talking about the vision, the growth, the potential, the fact that this is UK is a new key market. That's all really, really clear. But at the beginning, and I say, but it's not so clear. Why now? Why is this now? You're good at your ask at the end. You know what you want, but I'm not sure why is it now. And when I had a look at your pitch deck, you had there's so much packed in there, guys. You've got so many stories you can pull on to tell. I know it can be difficult to choose which ones. So life's too short to ordinary stuff. I think it's just a brilliant finishing line, and it's a great way to come to that close. But I would almost encourage you to bring that to the front, because if you bring that to the front, you're snapping everyone out of this sort of monotone, hi, my name is, and you're getting straight in with, hey, we're here, we're showmen, we're here to entertain, which is lovely. And then you're going to get into, like, let's talk about those numbers. Your customer base is huge as well. So you could talk a little bit more about your customer base. I saw there was really nice opportunities about your projections. You could highlight a bit more about your projections that you have in the opportunities that you see. You're preparing for an exit. That's something that you also could talk about and bring that to the fore a bit more. I really like the part as well in terms of some of the traction you have about those exclusive brand partnerships. That traction part could be accentuated a bit more, especially when you're in the global luxury gifting market. You have average order value is so much higher as well. And I'm sure you'll have that on the screen, but really talk to that, because you've got such great percentages in terms of attention of your audience, feedback, that order value. That's really good. And what does that mean to the investors? What can they expect back? But I think you're already doing it well, but you could just sharpen that up. I like that the two of you are pitching, but let's just make sure that it's really clear how your team effort comes together, because you've got, is it 2 or is it 3 businesses that you're talking about as you go through?
Two businesses, yeah.
So if you're talking about those 2, like, can we make
one business, 2 brands, but it's difficult. We know it's a difficulty also for investors.
So maybe just make it that clear and simple. We're one business, we're 2 brands.
Yeah.
Sometimes be clear over clever. I think this goes for everybody. Just as soon as you can simplify it right down, explain it to a 5-year-old, because everything else, the detail is there, the numbers are strong, they show the expertise, but simple is best. And I think talk about that and it will help you land your pitch. Do you have a question for me now?
Yeah, maybe. What do you think we should skip in our pitch? Because
what to cut? Okay, so I want you to go back through your pitch as an exercise and maybe do it with a friend or maybe a member of this group. If you guys want to connect with each other, throw your LinkedIn's in the chat. I would suggest that you ask, what are the 3 things you remember from our pitch? Ask a few people, get their feedback. Everything else, cut it. Don't need it. The 3 is maximum what people can recall. So what are the 3 most important things in your pitch? Ask yourself that question, but also test it out when you're speaking with others. And really make sure that you've got the most important parts, which team, traction, technology. So why are you guys primed better than anyone else in the market right now to do this? Why is the time now? When we're talking about technology, nobody cares how it works. They know you're experts. You've figured that out. They care why it matters. So get specific about why your technology matters now to help you do this.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys, well done. Let's go on to the next. Do we have Fornax? Do we have Fornax in the room? Do we have Zenova?
No, I'm here. Sorry. I put my hand.
Wake up, David.
Sorry.
Come on, stay with us. You have to make a cup of tea, I know. All right, don't worry. David, I'm going to put you on the clock. The floor is yours.
You all buy your energy from a utility and you hate your high bills. Now, you could change that today and you could buy some, produce some, store some. You could get a heat pump, a solar panel, a battery, but it's a big upfront cost to switch that. The heat pump alone is £10,000 and it's really hard to actually get it installed. Our agentic platform reduces the installation cost. We make it easier for you to get one, and then we spread the cost out over time with a unique financing product. We started with heat pumps because 85% of your energy usage is your heating. And then we use the relationship and data from the credit product to sell you the rest of the systems over time. Our tech's reduced the fundamental install cost by over 40% versus the market, and we can get you a heat pump from £50 a month. Customers want this. We've got £1.5 million in ARR and we're growing at 25% a month, all at zero CAC. We're a team of 5 across financing, data and heating engineering, raising £2 million. I'm Dave from Fornax, and that's the utility of the future.
Okay, well done, David. Very good at coming in under time. And funnily enough, as you started talking, I was thinking, why do I remember you? And then why is your pitch different? And what I would suggest is now I've heard 2 versions of your pitch. I love the first one better. The first pitch you said was you told the story, and I remember it, which is why it was so good, about how you couldn't wait for the summer to be over. And when you're talking about that, that's surprising, curious. Why would anybody want summer to be over? It makes people lean in and listen. And as I talked about earlier, that attention time you have is getting people to lean in. So you've gone quite logical, you've gone quite focused on this is logic, this is what it is, but people invest much more in emotion. You want them to like you, you want them to remember you. And that's how I remembered you the first time. So I would invite you to rethink that opening and go with something that leans into curiosity and something surprising. And the other parts that I thought you did really well in terms of explaining the fact that you're reducing costs, the fact that you're making this accessible, the fact that heating is what it's all about now. I think there's a real opportunity for you to start making less points, but making stronger points. A bit like I just told the guys, Dries and Frederick, you've got to imagine you've got a bag of sweets and you're throwing them at the audience. Like you're trying to get them to catch so many things. Whereas if you just threw one sweet at a time, the hit rate is going to be so much higher. So let's not throw everything in. Let's get the most important things in. So let's talk about your team, which you started to do at the end there. I think you could build that a bit stronger. Let's talk about some of the traction that you've had. Like, where are you now in your journey on your roadmap? Where do you see that opportunity going? And if we're talking about that technology, you're already doing it really well. You're talking about why you have made it accessible. It's cost effective. This can grow quickly. That's all something that makes it interesting for investors to see their money coming back.
Okay. Thank you very much, Caroline.
Do you have a question for me at all, David?
No, that is very consistent with, the logic versus emotion. And the pitch you saw before was very radically different from anything I've ever done in my life, but maybe that's a good thing and I should go back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be my vote, 100%. And come back next week or next time we do this, I would love to hear where you've got to with it and see how you're doing. That's great. All right, next on my list, we have Zenova. Did we have Zenova? If not, we do. Georgia, there you are. Right, fabulous. The floor is yours.
So hello, my name is Dr. Georgia Fleet. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Zenova. 1 in 10 patients in hospital will get an infection, and that is simply as a result of being in hospital. And 70% of those are caused by everyday medical devices, things like urinary catheters, your IV line, your breathing tube, all of those plastic tubes that are sitting in your body delivering those life-saving medicines. The infections include pneumonia, sepsis, UTIs, cost £50,000 per patient, and really affect patients' lives on a daily basis. So this is a huge problem for hospitals. Zenova has developed an antimicrobial compound that embeds directly into these devices so that it is killing bugs on contact, preventing infections at the source. Zenova is led by myself, a PhD scientist, alongside my co-founder, who has a background in healthcare and project management. We've filed 3 patents, are advancing pilots across 3 hospitals, and have interest from 4 multi-billion-pound device companies in licensing our compound. We are 50% committed and out of time.
Very good. But you did so well at actually getting across quite a lot of the key information there, Georgia. So well done for that. Let's talk about what was landing. So I watched your original pitch, a bit like I did with David. And again, I was thinking, why do I remember Georgia? Oh, yeah, Georgia made me scared to go to hospitals. So you made it that I really cared about what you're doing because this is going to affect me at some point. So actually, your storytelling and your emotion came through a lot more when you were breaking it down in your original pitch. This time, you went through everything quite rapidly. And I know because you're thinking, I've got to get through everything to get into the time. And because you went through quickly, I didn't feel the fear. And if I'm not feeling the fear, you haven't caught my attention. So slow it down and really think about helping people get that message landing about anything going into your body, an IV line, something down your throat, those bacterias, we're going to get to you. You're going to come out of hospital with an infection. I mean, that's frightening. So let people feel that fear. And then also talk about your technology and how quickly on contact that's changing. The fact that you've got 3 patents on that is huge. And you also mentioned that, but and you talked about your traction there as well about, who you're talking to. So that was brilliant. But it's like, let's talk about the problem. Let's talk about how your technology is so right for it and it's patented because you know it is, and you've already got this traction and investment. And the most important thing that you need to work on, Georgia, is getting to your ask. How much do you want? What are you looking for? Who is it in the room you want to come and speak to you afterwards? So building time for that means cut down the rest of that story. So the emotion feels the fear. Why now? And what's your ask? I think if you follow that, you're going to be in a much better place. But well done. It was good effort. Okay. Do you have a question for me, Georgia?
How to fit it all in. I think we've got, I think it has to come from the problem part, but then I literally don't know how to cut the problem because it, over 30 seconds is kind of explaining the problem.
So going back to that idea that I mentioned earlier, how would you explain it to a 5-year-old?
That there's a higher likelihood when you go into hospital, you'll have an infection.
Yeah, what does that mean?
That you get really ill.
You're going to get really ill. Can we make it a bit more life and death?
Yeah. Okay.
But you started right. There's a higher likelihood that you will go into hospital and come out with an infection you didn't go in for. Okay, you have my attention. And what are those infections maybe? Like, let's just again, one sweet at a time. Okay, just one thing for them to catch and understand. So you've already done it by going, how do I simplify this? It's like, explain it to a 5-year-old, make it really clear, let that land. Next point. Our technology eradicates this in seconds. Really just simplify. And it is going to take a bit of work, but I absolutely know you can do this because you've got all the stuff there. Does that help, Georgia?
Yeah, no, that's really helpful. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Next up, Shipperise. Do we have Shipperise with us? Do we have?
I'm there.
Oh, you are, Lionel. Did you cancel this week? Did you want to come pitch next week?
No, I'm happy to pitch. It's fine.
Okay, I love that. Good energy. All right, Lionel, I'm going to give you the clock, the floor.
Let me find my text.
Second.
Sorry, I just, yeah.
Tell me when you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So hello. Cash flow gaps are the biggest nightmares of successful companies of all sizes. Quick cash for corporates and helping them to address demand and confirming production is very important. If you have a seasonal product, a large client order, or a production run to complete, you really need cash now for your orders. This is a 60 billion opportunity in Europe as traditional banks are pulling back from SME financing, leaving a massive gap for our solution. And our clients represent 99% of the economy. Shipperise is building a secure and fast, replicable infrastructure for leveraging this opportunity and unlocking hidden opportunities in investment. We have already executed more than 15 transactions and onboarded more than 70 clients, and we are cutting time to transaction dramatically as we speak. We'd love to discuss with you about the business model, how we can produce high return for you, and in the meanwhile, invite you to be part of our private investors community to generate double-digit returns.
Okay, we've run out of time. So a few things to work on there because we've got to get it into time. But what I found great about your pitch is that you've got so much knowledge in what you're doing. But again, like I've said to the others, if we're throwing out all the sweets, it's too much information. So actually, let's go back to the points that are really going to hit home and land and get exciting. Some of your statements sound like a bold claim. And this goes for everybody. When you're making a statement, don't make anything anyone could feel like they could argue with, or they could go, well, I don't believe that, or that's not true, because you're getting them into a negative mindset. So anything that, even if it's a bold claim, because you're like, no, it's true, let's back it up. If you're going to say something big, like I think you said 97% of the market is your customers, it's kind of go, 97%? You sure? Like, it's anything that raises a question. If you can really give that some emphasis, because we've done testing, because we've researched with the best mathematicians in Cambridge, if you have something to say, back it up, or maybe don't bring it in. Bring in something that you can make them go, wow, okay, you do that. You know that. You can confirm it for me. So I loved some of the things you shared today, but I think it's a lot of information, Lionel. So I want you to really cut it down. You got clear on your ask at the end, but I think you could tighten that up a bit more and really get clear on, what level of support do you want? Do you want a strategic investor? Do you just want them to invest money? What is it you're looking for? So have you got a question for me right now, Lionel, in terms of your...
No, it's clear. Just over time.
Okay. Yeah, a little over time, but I want it to be more as well. Think of your opening. You came in and you just sort of started talking to us, which is great because you're confident, but I want you to wake us up. Imagine they've listened to 30 pitches that day and you're last. They're starting to fade away. They're starting to look at phones. All of you need to come on and command the stage. Ways you can do that is like the first word you use, you can just make it stronger. If you're going to say hello a little bit louder and with a bit of a pause afterwards. Could be that simple. If you're going to hit them with a big stat, say, did you know? Then give it a second before you hit that big stat. Imagine this. Give it a second before you start painting a picture. Command their attention as you kick off. But really well done, Lionel. Thanks for stepping up. And anybody who's joined late or I haven't called up to the stage, come off your mic, tell me who you are, and I will happily go through yours. I think I saw someone in the chat.
That was me. Hi.
That was you. Hey, Ella, no worries at all. So Ella, tell me, what's the name of your company?
Arcanics.
Arcanics. Okay, let's see if I had you on here. Yes, I've got you. So let me give you the floor. Okay, Ella, the time is going to be yours. Go for it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ella Romanos. I'm one of the founders of Arcanics, which is the first live ops strategy platform for video games. The games industry has evolved from products to services, and these type of games like Fortnite, Candy Crush dominate revenues. But running these services requires ongoing updates and monetization, and the term for managing this is what we call live ops. We've, as founders, been working in the games industry for decades. We're already the people that companies call to help with their live ops. But live ops is hard, it's complex, it's competitive, and it's costly. We originally created a consultancy to help developers with this, but we kept coming across the same problems. And we found that there were no specialist tools available to help. Most developers use general purpose tools. They lack the overall orchestration, specialist workflow, insights, and particularly decision-making tools. So Arcanics is a SaaS platform that makes live ops more efficient, engaging, and effective, ultimately improving ROI by focusing on strategic decision-making.
Okay, we got under the time, which was great. I think what's missing at the moment on your pitch is your ask. I wasn't clear. What is it you want? Why are you here? What are you asking everyone for? So you do quite a lot of explaining of the current challenge or problem. What I would encourage you to do is cut that right down. You don't need to go into so much detail on that. And just like I was saying to Georgia, let's explain that to a 5-year-old. How would you do that? What is a way you can explain what that problem is? One line.
Yeah, we've really struggled with this, and this is as simple as we've got it because we're mostly talking to people who don't know anything about games or live ops. So I agree. I just don't know how to make it any simpler. Because if I don't explain that the industry has evolved from products to services, if I don't give examples, and then I don't explain what live ops mean in that context, I lose everybody.
Okay, I don't actually think you need any of that. I think what's important is who are you? Like, why you? Why should I believe in you and your team? So the fact that you understand this market, great. Have we got some traction you could talk about in terms of what you're doing at the moment, in terms of investment you've made, in terms of people lining up to work with you or surveys? What is it you can talk about in terms of traction, Ella?
So we are pretty early. We're currently signing up our first customers. We have quotes from some big names like Wargaming, Epic, things like that. So it's more about what people are saying about what we're doing rather,
that's still traction because that's conversations you're having, that's interest, that's intent, and they're from big names. So talk about that. Don't shy away from it. I really love the way that you helped bring it into what people understand. People know, even if you're not big on gaming like me, Fortnite, yeah, of course, I've heard of that. I know what that is. I know that's a big part of the industry, but contextualize that. If you're talking about Fortnite, getting it, you're explaining that it's difficult for them. Could they be a future customer for you? Are they somebody that's going to work with you? Like, I'm still lost a little bit on why you, why now? So if you could explain that to me really quickly, how would you do that?
So all teams in the industry, from tiny up to huge, like Fortnite, are running their live ops manually.
Okay.
That's a massive problem. We've been working in this space for the last 3 decades. We're literally the people that people call to help with this already. We're developing a tool that will solve this problem.
Just say that. It was so much better, so much clearer. So don't try and be clever. Be clear on who you are, why you matter. You're already the people, the people that people call. You are the ones that are experienced in this industry. Talk about that traction. So you've already alluded to some of your team there, but if you've got any claims to fame, now is the time to mention it. So if you have been an entrepreneur and exited already a business, great. All right, you understand business, you understand entrepreneurship. If you have an MBA somewhere, if you've worked in innovation, talk about that. Like, you are someone to listen to. You could talk about your proudest moment, you could talk about your biggest claim to fame, but make sure people are listening to you. Georgia does it really well. She talks about having a PhD. All right, fair enough. Good. Okay, I'm listening to someone who's gone through years at school for this, so we can trust her. Build that trust by showing why you're credible. So I would say that people don't care so much about a problem that isn't theirs. If you're talking to a client, go into that detail. They'll empathize. But you're talking to investors. They want to know why you, why now, and what have you got in terms of traction and momentum that you can build on to give them their money back. Is that all clear, Ella?
I think so, yes. I wish I could remember what I said though.
That's all right. I'll share with you guys the recording. If you've signed up for the newsletter, you will all get a copy of the recording and you can play back at your leisure. We have a few minutes left on the clock, so I'm going to open it up. Is there anyone I've missed?
This is Jean-Louis from Govrn.
Hey, then come on, Ollie, let's hear it. We're going to put you on the clock. Go for it. Floor is yours.
Okay, I am Jean-Louis, the founder of Govrn. Having sit in more than 20 boards, I realize that current functioning is stuck in the past with terrifying inefficiencies. That is why I created Govrn, the first AI native board management platform. We go far beyond document and agenda sharing. We just help boards work smarter, not just better. Our platform has better board housekeeping, generates minutes, checks compliance, and provides clear insight. This thanks to AI and superior UX. We already serve a range of clients from association to listed companies. We have built an A-team of committed talents covering AI, product and sales. We ask 1.5 million to complete product roadmap and international expansion with an ever-growing market thanks to geopolitical chaos. Boards make the most important decisions in business, helping us build a better world. Govrn equip them to get it right.
Well done, very good. I really love that pitch because there were so many good parts to it. I really enjoyed the fact that your ask is very clear at the end, so well done for that. I really like that you had quite a nice storytelling voice as well as you came in and explained, who you serve and what you're doing. I think there is a big opportunity for you to talk a bit more about why is it now? Why is now this time important? When you talk about the features of your technology, when you just say what they are, like a shopping list, it's like, okay, they're nice things to have. Why do I care? Why is that important right now? And again, think about the audience you're speaking to. The investors are not probably going to use your product, so they maybe don't care about that. So is that the best thing to talk about? It's only important to talk about that if they can't get it anywhere else. The market has been crying out for this, and now we're delivering it. But otherwise, you're giving them a shopping list. So give a reason for everything you say to help it land. Tell them why this is important. And so I think there's an opportunity for you to really think about why now? Why have you decided to build this? You touched on it, but I think you can expand on that a bit more. You've gone from being in the boardrooms to developing an AI solution. So I think there's probably a team conversation in there that you could really bring in the experts that have built this. So think about your team, think about why now. Your ask is really good, but if there's anything you can do to sort of really strengthen that some more, and I think that would be give it more time. So don't rush when you get to the end. Keep that pacing and storytelling you had at the beginning. So even end a couple seconds early in your practice, and then maybe use maximum time on the day. But it will really help you get that landing. Any questions for me at this time?
No, super clear. Thank you, Caroline.
Okay, fantastic. All right, we've come up to the close of time. Anybody who wants to email me, message me on LinkedIn, by all means do. You can find me as Caroline K, and I'm going to put my email in the box. You can also look out for the recording. You will all get a copy of that. And an invitation, if any of you would like to have a one-to-one session with me, you can book some time with me as well, and there'll be a link in there also. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. Lovely to see you. Hope you all come again next week and we do a bit more pitch practice. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much.